know it ain't many like six though. Never need an intro. Yeah, even through the talk and all the chatter, I can show them that I know my family matters like a Winslow. Outdoors smoking Indo.
And welcome back for another NFL predictions video. Today we are covering the NFC East, also known as the NFC least, because this division is not probably, the worst division in the NFL. AFC South is a close second, but this division has been the worst for the past few years to every NFL fan, and even the fans in this division know that. So today we're going to go ahead and get into the NFC East, and let's just get right into it. Starting off today's vid with the Philadelphia Eagles, my favorite to win this division this year. The Eagles are really the only team that improved during this crazy offseason, the draft. So, and it all starts with Jalen Hurts. Just Jalen Hurts season. I feel like he's improved a lot. He's improved with his accuracy, his throwing ability. We all know what he can do on the run. We know he can scramble. It's just but he gets a lot of hate from all these analysts and everything like that because it seems they think he can't throw. So I do believe this year Jalen Hurts is going to prove that he can become that great thrower with the good accuracy, with good ball placement. He can be able to read the defense easily. I think he's coming to his own, and he's going to show that this coming season. And the weapons he has around him is going to help him even be better. Starting off with Miles Sanders in the backfield. Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders, this rushing, they can both run really, really well. This Eagles team had the best rushing offense last year, ranked number one, had 100 yards rushing almost every game last season. So, when you can run the ball that efficiently, that's going to help the offense. You went and got A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans, paired him along with Devonta Smith, two really great wide receivers. You can't leave either one of them one-on-one, in my opinion. Both of them can beat their man easily, no questions. Devonta Smith, tall, lengthy, great hands. A.J. Brown, great route running, good hands, great speed. And then you got Dallas Goedert in the tight end position. You traded away Zach Ertz mid last season, I believe, because you believe in Dallas Goedert that he could be that tight end one, and he's proven himself that he could be. You also got Quez Watkins, a sneaky fast receiver that can come in, play the slot, kick return, punt return, all that good stuff. I love watching Quez Watkins play. And the offensive line is sneaky good. You just don't get 100 yards rushing almost every game if your offensive line wasn't good. So, that's where the whole rushing attack starts. Jason Kelsey. I know you just lost Jason Peters in free agency, but Jordan Militia, he's there. So, this offensive line is really, really good. And then your defense just got a lot better this past offseason too. And, Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis, you took in the draft with your first round pick, those guys on the line. I know Brandon Graham's also one of those guys on that line who can edge rush really well. Your secondary, you went out and got Bradbury from the Giants. You went out and traded for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from the Saints, and you paired him along with Darius Slay. So that right there, your defense has improved greatly. Bradbury was in a bad position in New York. The Saints didn't want to pay Chauncey the amount of money he was wanting. The Eagles were willing to do that. And so, that's just this defense is coming into its own as well. This is why I believe that the Eagles will be the favorite because they went out and improved. They're making improvements within. Now, it's like I said, it's going to be hard because, the Eagles, it all starts with Jalen Hurts, as I said. If he's able to get hot and stay hot throughout the entire season, this Eagles team will be good. But if he starts falling, his stats just start dropping like mid-season, like as they did last year, this team could be in danger. They did make the playoffs last year with a 9-8 record. They snuck in, I believe it's the 6th seed. So, but I think this team won't have to worry about trying to sneak into the playoffs this year. I think they'll win a lot more games than what we actually think they will. But like I said, this team has vastly improved, and this is, all the weapons they've acquired, all the weapons they have now, along with all the people they had before, is going to help this team win more games. Now, taking a look at the Eagles' schedule for this year, we have the Lions week 1, win. Then you go to Minnesota, win. The Commanders, win. Jaguars, win. Cardinals, win. Cowboys, loss. Go into your bye week with only one loss. And you got the Steelers, win. Texans, win. Commanders, win. Colts, win. Packers, loss. Titans, loss. Giants, win. Bears win, Cowboys loss, Saints win, and then you end the season with the Giants, which is a win. Realistically speaking, I see the Eagles going 13-4. They added a lot of stuff they needed for this team, and their schedule seems pretty easy. I think they do have one of the easier schedules this year, so that also will help them a lot. So 13-4, realistically speaking, maybe they hit 14 wins, and maybe they only drop to about 11 wins. But I do think this team will take a top playoff spot, one of the top four seeds, and that show why they made all these moves in the offseason, because I do think this team will be great. Moving on, we now look at the Dallas Cowboys, a team with a fan base worse than the Colts fan base, but I'm not going to get into that. This team, every year is their year though, right? Um, and it just so happens that the Cowboys have the easiest schedule this year. But we all know that the Cowboys being Cowboys are going to find a way to fuck it all up. So, offense starts with Dak Prescott. Just got paid 75 mil, but sometimes doesn't play like he's worth that 75 mil. It's like a similar to like Russell Wilson's situation where he'll play good first like half of the season, and then once the second half of the season hits, everything just starts to fall, everything just starts to drop. And everybody's like, oh, Dak's stats, he played well. Some people don't realize that Dak's good games, when they lose, all of his stats come from garbage time, where the game's already been decided and the Cowboys are down like a few scores. So yeah, we know like at the beginning of the game, of course no one's going to talk about how Dak only went like 5 for 11 with only 100 yards in the first 3 quarters. No, because if when he finishes with 250 and 3 touchdowns and like 2-3 picks, they're going to say Dak played his heart out. But in reality, that's all garbage time. The game has already been decided by the time he starts playing well. And now, if he can play well from first whistle to last whistle, from first quarter to fourth quarter, from 60 minutes to 0 minutes, okay, then we can give Dak his respect. But when all of your stats are coming from garbage time, that's not a good look. And when you're losing by 20 plus points, it's not good. All right? And that's just the thing. Now, if he plays well the whole game, it's a difference. But when he does that, I won't say anything about it. But as Cowboys fans, you Cowboys fans, just look at it how everybody else looks at it. And then, you got Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard in the backfield. Zeke's getting up there for a running back in age, anyways. Running backs tend to usually die out quicker than any other position in this league. And his yards per game have just been going down every year since his rookie year. And it sucks because, at one point he was averaging, I think, 120 rushing yards a game every season. And then it slowly started to drop, then he dropped to 100 yards a game a season. And then 60, I believe he hit 50 something or 60 last year, this past season. And then I think that's why they drafted Pollard a few years ago. He'll come in, be that elusive back that can come out of the backfield, catch passes, screen passes, wheel routes, anything like that. He's a good kick returner. He's a good returner, man. We've seen that last season on Thanksgiving. You lost Amari Cooper. That was a big blow. I don't know why y'all decided to give up Amari Cooper. Y'all traded a first round pick for him and then only got a seventh in return when he lost him to the Browns. CD Lamb's going to be the wide receiver one now, and once Michael Gallup gets back, that will help a lot, take a lot of pressure off of CD. But who knows when Michael Gallup's going to return? It could be, a few months maybe. Dalton Schultz, he's a solid tight end, I believe. More of a pass catcher than a blocking tight end. Your O-line has always been good, but now with the loss of Tyron Smith, he's going to be out until at least December. That's going to hurt a lot. I know you drafted a rookie center in the first round this past year, but the offense line is slowly getting weaker and weaker by the year, so I believe that's gonna catch up to the Cowboys very soon. Your defense is mid. I hate to admit it, but other than Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Trayvon Diggs, the rest of the defense isn't really all of that. And yeah, Trayvon Diggs is a good corner, but 11 picks is great, but when you give up 1,000 yards, and and I get it, we don't really look at how much yards have been given up and whatever. But, when you bite on every double move and and your receiver is just running past you, that's not a good look. Yeah, you can have the 11 picks, but when you're biting on every double move that you see and your receivers getting 150 yards a game. Like, come on now. And, Michael Parsons, Defense Rookie of the Year last year, great edge rusher. He can even, drop back into coverage and play, linebacker. He could even go to corner when needed. I remember there was a time against the Giants last year where he was playing like a slot corner basically, but he was still at edge. And the Giants ran a pick play. Michael Parsons was able to get out and guard the route that somehow got open and was able to, force the Giants to settle for a field goal. Amazing player. And of course, DeMarcus Lawrence is always a threat coming off that edge. And Mike McCarthy is really just not a great coach when it comes down to it. And this Cowboys team, they're really not as good as everybody thinks they are. I get it, America's team, yada, yada, yada. But when it comes down to it, they're going to disappoint every year like they usually do. Now, taking a look at the Cowboys' schedule for this upcoming season. Start off with Tampa, week 1, loss. Bengals, week 2, loss. Giants, win. Washington, win. Rams, loss. Eagles, win. Lions, win. Bears, win. Packers, loss. Vikings, loss. Giants, win. Colts, loss. Texans, win. Jaguars, win. Philly, win. Titans, loss. And then you play Washington to end the year, which will be a win. Realistically speaking, I see the Cowboys only going about 10-7. Maybe they could hit the 12 wins. And I see them dropping to 8 wins at least. That's their floor, 8 wins. Because this team tends to drop games they should win every year. I know a lot of teams do that. But the Cowboys just seem to do it more than any other team. I feel like 10 wins is generous, but I feel like that's how much they'll get. But like I said, they could hit 12 and they could even fall to 8 because of how many games this team drops. But I guess we'll have to wait and see till the season starts. Moving on now, we are now looking at the Washington Commanders, a team who tends to also disappoint every year, even with great coaching. Um, Commanders also made a lot of changes this year. They went out and got Carson Wentz via trade with the Colts, who didn't necessarily play bad last year. 27 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. I've said it before, but I don't think you can blame Wentz for the Week 17 loss against Week 18 loss. I'm sorry, Week 18 loss against the Jags last season. Ultimately ending the Colts season and missing out on the playoffs. I don't put that blame on Carson Wentz. I put that blame on the coaching staff mostly because why aren't you running the ball? I explained that in the AFC South video, but I feel like Wentz, if he plays as well as he did last year, I feel like there's no problem. He lowered his interception rate, he lowered his touchdown rate, but he threw less risky passes. He does tend to throw a lot of dumb passes as well. We all know how Carson Wentz is, but being back in the NFC East, I think it'll be good for him. So I'm just, we're gonna have to wait and see how Carson Wentz plays this year. He plays sketchy sometimes, and he also plays like MVP at some points. But I don't think he'll ever return to that MVP caliber type season he had with the Eagles. But I feel like he has the weapons around him necessary to win more games. And I'm not necessarily saying that the Commanders have better weapons than the Colts. I feel like that's about pretty even. But I feel like if Carson Wentz could win with that team, he could also win with this team. And you have Taylor Heineke in the back and backing him up just in case anything happens. Brian Robinson, prayers up to him. I'm glad he's doing fine. He was supposed to be the starter, and I think he will still start when he gets back from his, that scary injury from that robbery incident. Antonio Gibson looks like he'll be taking most of the reps from now on because I do think J.D. McKissic does have, a little injury problem right now. So Gibson's going to get another chance to shine, after, being told that this running back position really isn't his anymore. Terry McLaurin, underrated receiver. Love watching Terry McLaurin play. I think he'll help Carson Wentz out a lot this upcoming season. He's great route runner, great hands, can go up and catch the ball for really almost an undersized receiver. So I love watching Terry McLaurin play. Logan Thomas, if he can stay healthy at that tight end position, it'll be a great thing for Carson Wentz because he's a big, tall tight end who can go up in the red zone, make some plays, get you some touchdowns when necessary. You drafted Jahan Dotson in the first round. I love watching Jahan Dotson play. I loved him at, I believe it was Penn State. So I can't wait to see how he plays. Um, let's see. And then you have Curtis Samuel. He was injured last year, I believe. So, he's fast. He can beat you deep. So if he can stay healthy this year, I do think that would help Wentz a lot as well. Your O line, little sus, little suspect on that O line. I don't really trust them all that well, but I feel like if they play well enough, this offense could be top 15 offense. Every year the Commanders seem to have the best front seven when it comes to defense. It seems like everybody says that every year. But injuries really derailed this defense, especially on that front seven where you have Jonathan Allen, one of the better D tackles in this league, uh, Deron Payne, who's also a great D tackle at that two spot on the line. You got Chase Young and Montez Sweat coming off the edge, both really fast, really great pass rushers. Hopefully Chase Young comes back better from that torn ACL. I know he's gonna miss the first 4 weeks, so Montez is gonna have to pick up some of the slack around. The DBs, linebackers, really not all that great, but Cam Curl, Bobby McCain, and Kendall Fuller rounding out that secondary. I do think this Washington team can be decent, especially on defense where they kind of lack. So like it sounds like I said, it all comes down to how Carson Wentz play and how the rest of this defense play. And like I always say, I guess we just gotta wait till the season starts to figure out. Now let's take a look at the Commanders' upcoming schedule. We have Jacksonville, loss. Lions, loss. Eagles, loss. Cowboys, loss. Titans, loss. Bears, I'm going to say loss. Packers, loss. Colts, loss. Vikings, loss. Eagles, loss. Texans, win. Falcons, win. Giants, win. You got the Giants again. Give them another win. Niners, loss. Browns, loss. Cowboys, loss. Realistically speaking, I only see this Commanders team going 4-13. Maybe they hit 7 wins, and maybe they only get to 2 wins. But I don't see this team going anywhere anytime soon. They don't have what it takes to win now. I think they're kind of in a bridge process where they're using Carson Wentz as a bridge QB. But I think this team's almost in that rebuilding stage again. So I don't see them going anywhere far, but I feel like they are capable of winning more games than I give them. Now looking at the final team of the NFC East is the New York Giants, a very, very bad team. Um, there's not really much to say about this team. They're just bad, all around bad. They haven't been able to win games for the past few years, and everything's just been falling apart for them lately. Daniel Jones isn't really a good quarterback. He can get out of the pocket, he can run a little bit, but he's not a great quarterback at all. Bad ball placement, bad accuracy, makes a lot of unnecessary throws that he really shouldn't make. There's really not much to say about Daniel Jones. The Giants declined his 5th-year option. It looks like if he doesn't play well this year, he'll be gone. Pretty sure he'll end up being a backup somewhere else because there's really not a lot of teams that need Daniel Jones as their starting QB. Hopefully Saquon Barkley can stay healthy all year because I would love to see Saquon just play great once again, make the Pro Bowl again, try to help his team win. Kadarius Toney, if he can stay healthy, he'll be a big help. He's shifty, agile, can beat you deep, catches really well. His routes are so crisp. He drafted Wan'Dale Robinson with the 43rd pick. I believe he'll also be a decent return man, slot receiver. So I like him a lot. Kenny Galladay hasn't been playing or looking like a $70 million receiver since coming to New York. He's just lazy. It seems like he doesn't want to be there. Um, you know, not putting in the work necessary to be good. Not even trying in practice. It's just sad, honestly, and that's the epitome of New York football right there. Just laziness and not trying. Like who cares at this point, right? But that sucks to see. The O line and tight end are all not great at all. I don't even remember who their starting tight is now because they lost Evan Ingram. But their O line isn't good at all. I think Daniel Jones was hit a lot last year too. But this offense really isn't great. Neither is this defense. You got Leonard Williams and Kayvon Thibodeau on the line. I think Leonard Williams is a top rusher in this league. I think Kayvon will also be a top rusher in this league. You got Adoree Jackson and Xavier McKinney in the secondary, but other than that, it's just like, who do you have? You got rid of James Bradbury, um, and literally there's so many holes in this team. I don't, it's hard for me to say the Giants are going to be decent at least. I think this will be a bad team all over again, and you've had I think 3 different head coaches in the past 4 or 5 years, so And it's the ownership. I know a lot of people complain about the ownership, but this team, unless a lot of changes are made to this team, I don't think this team's going to go anywhere. And you can't really go get free agents because who wants to go play for the Giants? And it's a lot for this team to go through to handle, but I don't this team is not going to go anywhere. They haven't been going anywhere, and I think it's going to stay that way. Now, taking a look at the Giants' schedule for this year, open up with the Titans week 1, loss. Panthers, loss. Cowboys, loss. Bears, loss. Packers, loss. Ravens, loss. Jaguars, loss. Seahawks, loss. You go into your bye week, still haven't won a game. Texans, I'll give you all the win. Honestly, Lions, loss. Cowboys, loss. Washington, loss. Eagles, loss. Washington again, loss. Minnesota, loss. Colts, loss. And then play the Eagles again, loss. It's looking like a one-win year for the Giants this year. Realistically, I think they go only 1-16. There's a great chance this team goes 0-17. They'll become the first ever 0-17 team in the NFL, and maybe they only get up to 3 wins. There's not much to say about this team. They're just bad. There's a lot of changes that need to be made, and who knows when this team will make those changes needed to win games. I want to thank you again for taking your time to watch this video. Got one more predictions video. That's the AFC East, and then we'll do our playoffs predictions all before Thursday, which is the first game of the season. So we're just going to keep it rolling. Like I said, just give me time on some more videos. New series are going to come through once I get my move done and everything. Got about a week until I actually move. So just stay patient. And, of course, hope you enjoyed.
Blood don't make you kinfolk. Loyalty is what I sent for. No half stepping, only 10 toes. Now life is at a different tempo.